And here we go. It is game week number 20 in the Betway Premiership, but it is match number 19 for both these sides. Mamelodi Sundowns, the home side, of course, in their traditional canary yellow shirts and blue shorts, the colors of the Brazilians. The arrows are in a changed strip. They've gone with the white shorts, white shirts, and the green shorts. They're attacking the goal to the left of your picture. What will be key in the approach from both these sides for you, Toki? How, especially from a Mamelodi Sundowns point of view, knowing that they've already been beaten by this arrow side, how do they play this one? How do they approach this one?
I think their performance against Kukune really showed their character, really taking the game as well and commanding. And I think full control definitely to be in Golden Arrows' face and to really take the game to them. But for Golden Arrows, good organization, the discipline behind it. And I think we've seen Golden Arrows under Coach Mangobamwiti. The team is very organized defensively, 3 clean sheets consecutively, and for sure this evening it won't be any different. They will want to counter press and make sure that on the transition they really execute.
Yeah, they also want to keep things as tight as they can at the back, because that has been an Achilles heel for them. It is the league's most prolific attack, the highest scorers in the Betway Premiership, Mamelodi Sundowns on 30, against the leakiest defense in the Betway Premiership, Lamontville Golden Arrows, who have conceded 22. When I say the leakiest, one of the leakiest defenses in the league, the title of leakiest belongs to Makesi and Marumo. Makesi on 26 goals conceded and Marumo 25. So Arrows are gonna really have to jack up when it comes to the defensive side of things.
And I think due to the lack of consistency, we've seen Golden Arrows really slipping out of that top 8, now occupying that 12th position, and it is due to them just leaking the goals.
Now it's a chance early on here from the corner for Sundowns. They go with a short one. Nuno Santos takes a deflection on its way through to Takasani Mbanjwa, who has definitely made that starting berth his own in goal. And man who was with Morocco Swallows at a time in that season of their demise. He kept goal for them. It's a different kettle of fish. Yeah, with facing up to Lamontville, to Mamelodi Sundowns, the champions, make with a couple of real, what you can describe as statement victories. If you look at the win against Orlando Pirates, a big one. You have to beat your rival for the title if you've got serious title, ambitions, and they did that. So they showed as well, after conceding a goal against the run of play against Kukune, that they're able to deal with a bit of a setback. And boy, did they come storming back to win that match.
And that's going to be the difference as we draw closer to the end of the season, with the top 4 or 5 teams that are competing for the title. Is just the finer margins, really grinding the results. The teams are really organized, and I guess smaller teams like Golden Arrows that play on that transition, they like to sit back, but they have that aggression that is Golden Arrows. They're really in the face of Mamelodi Sundowns.
Now this is Sales, slips a pass through to Ikram Reines, a man who I think will be buoyed and will be in such confident mood after his performance over the weekend. His first goals of the calendar year, and boy, he really took them well.
I think it's quite incredible that Ikram Reines hasn't really seen much of game time, been on the bench, yet when he comes off the bench he has that immediate impact and is still up there in the top 3 with 8 goals this season. And Dion, of course, this evening with 9. It's quite competitive for top strikers.
Well, alongside Sedi Dion, they both have 10 goal involvements. 9 goals for Sedi Dion and 1 assist, and for Ikram Reines 8 goals and 2 assists. And as you point out, he had set out for such a long period. He scored 8 goals and provided 2 assists so far this season, as I've mentioned. But he had a long spell where he was struggling with injuries as well. So that curtailed the number of games that he has played. This is Reina's 13th appearance of 14th appearance of the season, his 10th start.
I think some of the qualities that I really admire around Reina's is just the hunger for game time, but also just how ruthless he is in front of goal.
Switching play, here's Jaden Adams, not the best one from him there. Man who has hardly put a foot wrong. Actually, since the resumption of the Betway Premiership after the Nations Cup, he's been excellent. There he is on the ball. Something he was struggling at the start of the season, and he just couldn't find his form from last season, Jaden Adams. And then he had a haircut, talking. And cheese cop, you know, a new hairstyle is as good as a holiday, and he's been fabulous ever since. So much for Samson's strength being in his hair.
I think more than anything, the clarity in and around his roles and responsibilities on the park around Mokoena as well. He's now taking that defensive 6.
Yes, I found it interesting what he said after the Sekhukhune game. He said the coach has given him a free role, actually.
Yep. And it is that defensive role of number 6, and I think that's where he breaks down the play, controls the tempo, and so much more time. Yet Mokoena and maybe an Alende, and of course this evening we have a Santos that is playing in front of him. It gives him so much time on the ball.
Were you a 6? Did you define yourself as a 6?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So it's a role that you are very familiar with in terms of how to play it.
Yeah.
Requires a visionary, requires also fitness, because you get about the park a lot.
Yeah.
Now, Modiba laying it back to Mokoena. Didn't have his best game against Sekhukhune Mokoena. It's a little bit off color. Here's opening it up. Now it's opening up here for Arrows. A low ball over the top. So that Dion was in an offside position, but he's not the intended recipient. Here's the man, Siana Ndlovu, such an exciting player. 4 goals for Ndlovu, with and also to go with that 5 assists. He really has been fabulous, this young fella, 22 years old.
Yeah.
This is the 50th time that these two sides have met. Mamelodi Sundowns, as you might expect, have a winning record against Arrows, 25 wins to 11. 13 matches have been drawn. And most importantly, most recent meeting between the two sides was a rare win for the Montfort Golden Arrows, as Salles is fouled, but the free kick goes against him. Here's the skipper, Tiani.
Salles is definitely going to be the one that's threatening in between those lines. He's a good receiver of the ball in between the lines. He's always just trying to penetrate in between those spaces, but have been really impressed by the partnership of Mabaso and Gianni for Golden Arrows.
Space on this left-hand side to exploit. As Mafuleka wanted to go on a bit of a gallop. There he is on the ball. Cisse laying it back. Back to Mandra. Well, they've won the ball back here. Sundowns could be dangerous here. The pass up from chance for Reynolds. The angle was a bit tight. I thought Jaden Adams could have gone himself there.
Yeah.
Went for the pass instead.
You look at the composure once again. Jaden Adams just receiving in between the lines. You look at the angles, the triangle for Salles just to lob it over the defense. A good idea, but it takes him away from the target.
Yeah, it's like both Jaden Adams and Salis, they could have had a go themselves. And 10 minutes has flown by just like that. Loftus, and it's Sundowns that have made a positive start. No goals as yet. On Williams, decked out in purple today. Was that blue? Let me leave the colors to you, Toki. Let's stay out of this one.
It's a blue.
Is it a turquoise? Is it blue? Just the blue?
It's a blue.
All right, fine. I'm out of this one. Stay in my lane. Here's Grant Kekan. Back to the man in blue. Mokwena. Kurman Ndamani, who has really grabbed his opportunity with both hands there. With the depleted defense of Sundowns, he's taking his chance. Here's Tashrik Matthews. And not enough power to trouble Mandra, and it was straight at him. Matthews popping up on this right-hand side, interestingly, Togi.
Yeah, I think the whole idea is for him to really work on those angles, to cut inside and have a great shot like he did, just straight to the goalkeeper. But for me, impressive as to how Santos just bypasses that midfield with so much ease with one penetrative pass into the opposition's third.
Salis looking to put the pressure on. Goes wide to Mafuleka. Mamelodi Sundowns, who have been have really rediscovered their form in this calendar year, winning 5 out of 5. And at home, this has been a fortress. Loftus over the years has been a fortress. This season is no different. 7 wins out of 8 matches at home, and have yet to lose at home. They've dropped points just the one time this season, and that was in a 1-1 draw against Orlando Pirates. They really have a phenomenal record at home. Now, this is a great run. This is looking promising. Just didn't have the legs to get him there. As he tore into the box from coming out from a wide position. Not accustomed to seeing Mokwena coming from there. Good work from Maluleka.
Yeah, he realizes that he's got so much more space in front of him. Does well to evade one defender, but just this last touch into the box just pushes it a little bit too much.
See Mafuleka did some good work defensively there. Second corner of the game goes to Mamelodi Sundowns, their second corner of the game. Going to the near post, Mudiba, but not picking anybody out. Arrows can clear their lines with some ease. It's Cisse that lets it run out on the far side. Now, as I'm talking about their phenomenal home record, they've lost once at home in their last 51 games, winning 44 and drawing 6. So that's 22 home games since, and they've also scored in 22 of their last 22 home games.
Sure.
So that's what I mean when I say Loftus has been a fortress.
Yep, and I think immediately when you pointed out the 5 consecutive wins, I'm thinking that's 15 possible points out of 15.
Mangoba Mngeti was full of praise for Mamelodi Sundowns, saying that a win against Sundowns has the value of 3 away draws. I guess he was emphasizing that because their away form hasn't been great at all. 1 win in 9 matches, and they've drawn twice, losing 6 matches. So a measly 5 points on the road for the Monfort Golden Arrows. That's not a statistic that will inspire a lot of confidence. Aubrey Modiba has got possession here. Sales goes wide to Tashrik Matthews. Comes to Matthews again. Khuriso Mudau. Matthews is tripped and gets the free kick. Looked like he'd gone down a little easily, but I think the ref made a good call. He was definitely clipped.
I think the intelligence of really trying to receive on the inside is quite risky. But if it is that you know that Mudau wants to go on that overlap, it's a risky move that you have to take. But Matthews, with his technical ability, he does have the qualities.
More than just a clip there, he was he stomped on his toes there. Did Mfanavela Mafuleka, signed from Midlands Warriors, along with Ntlatla Kasa, who's on the bench. We had a look at Midland Warriors in the pre-season in the Premier's Cup. Looked very impressive as a ball floated in. Allowing it to run out of play there for a, well, I think it'll be a throw in, or a kick another. Well, that one to run out of play. Aubrey Modiba. Good work from Reynolds, back to goal. Good work here from Modiba. Half-hearted appeal there for a handball, but didn't get any backing from his teammates or anybody else. There's Jaden Adams in your picture. Shezi's ball back. Shezi, one of 3 changes made by Mangoba Ngweti. Shezi coming in for Thokozani Lukele.
And I think amongst those changes as well, Lamini sits out on the bench and sees Cisse coming in. And I thought maybe a good addition from Coach Mangoba. Cisse is one of those midfielders that are really very aggressive in your face. You might have to put a little bit of pressure on the ball carriers from Mamelodi Sundowns.
Got a bit of a temper as well, Cisse. His temperament, he doesn't hold back. We even know he's a young fella. Struggling to get onto the ball and keep it for any sustainable period of time, or any meaningful period of time. Arrows, they're being put under pressure every time they get onto the ball. See the attempts there. That tells a story of its own. 20 minutes into the game, Arrows yet to have a look at the goal of Donovan Williams. Been pinned in their own half for the most part. They'll come through to Salis, cleverly played there by Jaden Adams to let it run. Kurmani Damani picks up. Nuno Santos operating in the left hand, on the left hand side there. Nicely done by Khuriso Mudau. Santos. Yes. The dummy and then puts a ball in. Ikram Reyners. Back to Santos. Santos' ball in. Got up well there, Jaden Adams. Probably the shortest man in the box there. But he got something onto that.
Yep, and he usually gets one of those, funny enough, as short as he is, just because of that distance and the time that he has to make those late runs in the box unmarked. Most of the time, should have really tried to capitalize.
When looking to combine with Tashrik Matthews, I was delighted to get the call there for the throw in. Makwele was applauding the lines, the assistant. Mafuleka. City Dion there would jumping for that one. He's hardly seen the ball. There he is now getting a pass away, having to come deep because the supply is just not coming.
Yeah, they're playing half ground. This is Mamelodi Sundowns really putting the pressure, pinning them back. These are the wing backs, but also the wingers as well from Golden Arrows. But also it could be just a strategy to surrender the ball possession and really try and wait for that perfect time, for the perfect counter.
Well, I think that's going to be the best route to go for Lamontville Golden Arrows.
Yeah.
And just keep things tight and be very disciplined. And then when the opportunity comes, they've got the players to hurt you.
Yep.
They've got the pace. Working it wide, does Mudau to Matthews, cutting inside. Poor pass there from Salis is giving it away, and there could be pressure on Mamelodi Sundowns here as Arrows very nearly got their first, put together their first attack on the break. Getting a little bit sloppy then, in the middle of the park. Santos. Still 22 minutes gone here. No goals around in any of the matches underway around the country, and we have 5 fixtures underway. It's 0-0 in all of them. Mabaso concedes that throw-in. Artur Salis. Rankekana, who is the man guiding Kulman Ndamani. There's the centre-back pairing. The said Ndamani is taking his opportunity, immediately hit the ground running after his signing because there was a gap there that Sundowns needed to fill. They've had so many injuries to their best preferred centre-backs. What a ball from Tashrik Matthews! 2 players couldn't apply the finishing touch there. Reyners one of them, and Jaden Adams was the other. The 2 former Stellies men there being set up by another Cape Townian here in Tashrik Matthews. What a ball that was.
Yeah, beautiful ball. The technique, the power behind it as well. Once again, Jaden Adams, the one inside that 18-yard box, charging the box. Just needed the slightest of touches.
Yeah. Didn't make contact, and Ikram Reyners arriving late at the back post there. Now, that's a great ball to pick out Salis there. Mukwena gets underneath it, not one of his best. Got a hold of it. We know all about what he can do from that range. He's got a catalogue of spectacular goals from that range. Mukwena is the man I'm referring to. So far this season, he has just is yet to score in the Betway Premiership. Let's have a look at what happens. From a set piece, Santos took a couple of deflections on its way through there, and he'll come straight back at them again with his arrows. Couldn't completely clear their lines. Really are being pinned back here. Gene Adams, nice touch there for Salles. Reynolds wanted to turn and pull the trigger. That is an excellent tackle. Now on the break, it's on here for Lamont for Golden Arrows. That pass was too late. That pass was delayed for way too long. Angelo Van Roy should have released a lot earlier.
Yep, it's in the detail. We spoke about the precision when they choose those moments, when they find themselves in possession and real threat to punish Mamelodi Sundowns. It's the decisiveness.
Sundowns having to build up now from your own half for what seems the first time in a while. It's about as close as arrows have gotten to the goal of Ronwen Williams, as Tashrik Matthews looks to cut inside again from the right hand side, presenting them with a new problem. I think they're more accustomed to seeing him operate down the left hand side. Of course, Sundowns are missing Tapelo Morena. Have also lost him to injury. He would have been pushing up on this right hand side. Some long-term injuries like Zuko Mtunyelwa, Mutobi Mvala, a long-term injury absence. Here is Kurisa Mudau with a cutback. How many more chances are Sundowns looking for here? We know the story about missed chances. Nice footwork there from Mokoena. So many, they've had a few chances, really good chances. They just needed someone to touch the ball into the net.
Yep.
Here's Mudau again. Matthews wants the 1-2. Mudau will go on his own. It's opening up. Look at this, nicely done! Smashed it into the net. It's been coming. It makes how to make it look easy. It's been coming. Tabo Mokoena smashes it past. Mbanja didn't even move.
Mbanja couldn't move. He couldn't do anything about that. Very well worked goal, very well orchestrated from Mamelodi Sundowns. It's the composure, the intricate passing, the accuracy, the first touch, the technical ability. It's the combination play that they're infamous for. No pressure on the ball.
Yeah.
Takes his chance.
Hits it with the outside of the boot. And means it's moving away from the keeper. Put the swaz into the ball. No chance for Mbanja. And it's been coming, Amanda Dlamini.
Yep, it has been coming. They've been pinning Golden Arrows in their own half, pushing them a little bit further down into that final third and inside that 18-yard box. And if it is that the likes of Mokoena can make so much ground, cover so much ground, and fluster the 18-yard box, certainly they are quite deep into their own goal.
The goal coming just after I'd mentioned that he hasn't scored yet this season in the Betway Premiership. His last goal was in fact in the Champions League back in January when he scored in a 2-2 draw here against Al Hilal Omdurman, and he scored a spectacular goal in that game as well.
Yep.
So that, as things stand, with the other games still locked at 0-0, it means the champions will be back on their perch. But there's a long way to go yet.
Yep.
Only half an hour played. But it's been all Sundowns so far. Have been dominant and they've been rewarded with a goal. Should have had more, I fancy. And that's something that, well, Miguel Cardoso didn't want to go in too hard and talk too much about the goals and the need for goals, because, well, he knows, and I'm sure the players know, that goal difference could be crucial this season.
Absolutely. I was when you were just reading out the stats as well, the goal difference at 21, 22, and of course the goals at average, Mamelodi Sundowns on 30.9, and obviously it's increased now to 31. And Orlando Pirates at 29, so the numbers really, if it is that they are this tied and this close, it would really go down to those specifics, TT.
I don't think Mangoba Mreti will be very happy with the way his side defended on that occasion. Sundowns are 31 goals this season, league's leading scorers. The referee, I think, is going to book someone. This man looks like he's in serious pain here. He's got a card. It's Tebo Mokoena, who's about to see yellow. Even though he's got that look, that puzzled look on his face, he is going to go into the book. See, oh, when you're swinging the arms at the elbow, catching Sede Dion in that neck, that can be very painful. It catches him in the throat, does he? Or is it more in the chest?
Yeah, the chest, or maybe even just the clavicle. And I think it's very intentional here from Mokoena. It's unsportsmanlike for me, especially when elbows are involved.
And just to translate for the non-medical viewers amongst us, the clavicle is the collarbone. Yeah, and it's exactly what he looks like he's holding on to there, Sede Dion. Well, do the officials want him on or off the field? Well, he's ready to carry on. Nothing too serious. Yes, the league's leading scorer, only by 1 goal now. Free kick for Namoldon Golden Arrows as Sede Dion goes into that offside position. Oh, well, that didn't work out. It was a trading ground routine that didn't come off.
Well intercepted from Matthews.
Dion standing in that offside position as a decoy. Grant Kekana doing very well here. But Arrows have kept possession. Mofulega, Makoile working it wide. Didn't get a ball. That's a good looking ball. 2 players attacking it there, but the flag was up for offside anyway.
Yeah, in a moment where Mamelodi Sundowns are caught with the switch of play, they're not pressing the ball urgently. Aubrey was a little bit late. They allowed that cross to come through. Very dangerous, but indeed an offside call from the linesman.
Cisse, he was there, the Ivorian junior international. He's represented his country at under 23 level. So this is the only game with a goal tonight. Matthews just dances past his marker. Oh, talk about high-risk defending there, facing his own goal. But well, that was a serious precision from Shezi. Puts it wide for a corner, puts it behind for a corner. Look at that. Ooh, that could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying Matthews really taking on Mafulega, the 1v1 battles.
Skinning him this side, is giving him a torrid time. In it comes again from the corner. Nuno Santos punts it all the way back to Ronwen Williams. There's a bit of lightning in the distance, but at the same time, we can see a big moon behind the main stand there. So it's quite odd, but I suppose there's a bit of cloud, or if there is rain, it's coming in from a distance. So Tebo Mokoena is down. There's Cisse catching in there.
Spoke about how combative Cisse is. Doesn't really pull out of those challenges. This time around, coming from behind a little bit aggressively for the referee. Tebo Mokoena draws that foul.
he stayed down. This this does not look good. It didn't really look that bad from the replay, but not sure where he was caught, but he stayed down, and the Sundowns medical team have been invited onto the field to give some assistance. Physio Sakumzi Ngwavela and team doctor Carl Dawani on duty today. Well, that's maybe with a break in play gives us a moment to show you how the goal came, and boy, did they make it look easy. As I said, I think Mamelodi will be kicking a few things in the dressing room at halftime. Look at this. It's how casual it is. Standing off, as you were saying, no pressure on the ball. Mokoena picks his spot.
Yeah, very passive from Golden Arrows. They should be applying a little bit more pressure, trying to force the opposition to make those back passes. But of course, the Mokoena with an opportunity just to toe poke that one with so much power.
Was it a toe poke or was it full laces?
Bones.
Bones. They all count. Yeah, that's why it flew into the net like it did.
No swerve.
Yeah, no. It came at the keeper so fast, and he didn't even have a chance to react. Here's Matthews again. He's really having a good time down this right-hand side. What can Arrows come up with here? Now that is more like it, but just too long, and Ronald Williams awake to that. But it was offside anyway. It was Ndlovu. Far side assistant. That is flag up. In fact, yeah, they saw them even at the weekend. Sundowns play this offside trap to perfection.
Yeah, it's a high line, something we haven't seen from Mamelodi Sundowns. They pushed that line quite high and really forced the opposition to play it over, and of course surrendering that ball position.
Even against Orlando Pirates, Pirates were caught offside so many occasions. They've mastered this. I think the defensive element of the game has been solid most of the season. It was up front where they kind of lost their way a little bit. Kuriso Mutau. Space open, creating space for himself. Oh, now look at that. Mudiba gets past his mark. Sales was attacking it. And good defending from Arrows to get it away, but they are really backs to the wall here, Arrows. Kuriso Mutau. With 5 wins in a row, Sundowns are looking to equal the 6 wins in a row, which they achieved last season. When you start building up, when they start building up that kind of head of steam, they become very difficult, Sundowns, to stop. So it's all getting a little ominous, even though we still have quite a way to go yet. As I said, match number 18 or rather 19 for these two sides, which means 11 matches to go after this one. Looking for their 9th title in a row, Mamelodi Sundowns. Well, we're hearing that Arrows are gonna make a change. I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. The way things have gone, I think Mangoba is fed up and he wants to change things. Where do you think where do you think he's gonna make the adjustment? Let's have a look at this passage of play. Sundowns just hiding the ball. That's as Rolani Mokoena used to put it. Defending with the ball, they say, or just trying to lure the opposition out. Because Arrows, despite trailing, are still sitting back. They don't want to open it up too early. And for as long as it's 1-0, they're still in it. Look at that, very good in anticipation, but Sundowns have won it back quickly. Referee plays an advantage as Mudau was fouled there. 5 minutes to go to the break at Loftus Versfeld. Sundowns on a run, unbeaten in 9 Premiership matches. They've won 7 and drawn 2. Jaden Adams, Damani, Mudiba, now Timo Mokoena. As Reyners took his eye off the ball there, Ndlovu will be chased down by Kuriso Mutao and was clipped, and the referee saw that as well and is given a free kick.
Yeah, good positioning from the referee. The action and that tackle from Mutao happening right in front of him. Yeah, Mutao with the studs and the inner foot of Ndlovu, certainly drawing that foul. But you asked TT, what does Arrows need to do? I just feel that they need to have the arrogance to play. They're very compact, organized, but they really need to reward themselves with the effort of just playing, having the arrogance to just play the ball.
Sounds as if Mangoba has maybe changed his mind about making the early change. Or has he? We'll find out in a moment. But with halftime so close, is there any point in making the change now? Here is Saleh. Reyners waiting in the middle. Matthews joins. Santos drove one into the box there. Corner. And it looks like Mangoba Mngqiti is going to make the changes, just giving some final instructions. He's not happy with what he's seeing there, and I can't say I blame him. So Arrows have not arrived yet. And there you go. That is a man that is being prepared then to come on, especially Msomi. Msomi is a central midfielder, and that's where they're losing the game. They're being overrun in midfield there. Back post. It was Grankekana with a header, Damani attacking it, and Mbanjwa will come out to claim it. Oh, he won't be adding to his 4 clean sheets this season, Mbanjwa. Williams gathers it. Talking about clean sheets, he's got 8 to his name this season, Ronwen Williams. Trying to chase down Sipho Chain, who is on 13. A new record, club record. It's eclipsed Munib Joseph's record and stood for quite a long time. We are going to have that change then. Msomi, especially Msomi, is going to come on just before the break. This is the coach expressing his unhappiness with what he's seeing out there, and he needs the intervention here if they're to get back into it. And never nice to be pulled off in the first half, Toki. So Matonzela, I'm sure, won't be happy, but you'll understand, I suppose, the way the game is going, that something needed to be changed. Yep. So Msomi comes in for only his 2nd appearance of the season. Only his 2nd appearance in the Betway Premiership. He also has 1 in the Nedbank Cup. So he's not had a lot of game time. So it's an interesting call that the ref, at least that Mangoba Mngqiti would look to him. Your thoughts, Toki?
Yeah, no, I think changes had to be made, and I'm hoping that the shape will change. I was a little bit surprised that Coach Mangoba didn't have maybe at least a triangle in that midfield where he has 2 sitters, a double pivot, and 1 reference at the top, or a free role just to support a Dion, just sitting behind Dion, because then that will give them an angle. Once they sit back and get compact to win the ball back, at least there's a reference in front of them. But they've been too flat, and hence they can't really play. Hence I said the arrogance to play. So Msomi slips into that midfield to really try and get something going.
That midfield has been dominated by Sundowns in midfield. I was going to call it a battle, but it hasn't been a battle. It's been so one-sided. Matthews, oh man, he's just floating at the moment, floating around that pitch. Sales. A minimum 2 minutes to be added on as Amanda Dlamini makes her way down pitch side. Sundowns who want to maintain their discipline here and not concede a silly goal just before the break. And likewise, I don't think Arrows will want to concede a second. Jaden Adams. Jaden Adams is offside, surely. Yeah, indeed, he was offside, was Reyners. Spotted by Kamusiras Musini on this near side. There he is looking to join Dion. So the league's top 2 scorers are out there on the park. Reyners chasing down Dion at the top of the scorers charts. Finished last season with 14 goals in 26 appearances. Ikram Reyners, and he had 9 assists to go with that as well. So prolific indeed he has been since making the move to Mamelodi Sundowns. Mokwena. Maybe one late flurry here from Arrows just before the break. Look at Santos eating up the grass there to help out in defense. And immediately look to run into space to get the return ball from Ronald. 11 of those matches, drawing twice, yet to lose a game when they've scored first. As we get back underway, the Montfort Golden Arrows in the white shirts and the green shorts are getting us underway. Sundowns in the yellow and blue are attacking the goals to the left of your picture. Well, if that's Sundowns' record when scoring first, what about Arrows when conceding first? This season that's happened on 11 occasions and only once have they won. The only team that they've beaten after conceding first was Makesi. Otherwise, they've drawn 2 and lost 8 of the games they've conceded first in. I've already mentioned how long it's been. I mean, they came in to this game with a lot of hope, looking to complete their first league double over Mamelodi Sundowns. But they haven't looked like a team that's capable of winning the game, or they haven't looked like a team capable of scoring, let alone winning the game. And as I say that, some good determination there from Chelsea as they look now to try and start on the front foot in the second half. Much better already.
Much better already, and that probably is the conversation in the change room. Put them a little bit under pressure and force them into mistakes.
Oh, here we go. There could be something on here for Arrows! Still alive! Just took too long with a shot! Took way too long with a shot! You don't get too many opportunities. You don't get that much time on the ball in this league. And he allowed the Sundowns defenders to recover. That one needed a first-time shot. Even with a touch to control, he just took too long to organize his feet.
Yeah, just undecisiveness. You need to be ruthless once you get into that box and punish Mamelodi Sundowns for those critical mistakes at the back.
Here comes Mutiba. You see, when you do that kind of thing, miss opportunities. What often happens is that you go and concede at the other end. I'd hardly finished the thought. I'd hardly finished the thought. They miss a golden chance at the other end. Yeah. 2 golden chances. And then Ikram Reyners, 3 in 2, joins Serie Dion at the top of the goal scorers charts.
I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns are good, but you can't make them look that good. Ikram Reyners, with an opportunity, spoke about how ruthless he is in the box. An immediate demonstration of how it is to punish an opposition if it is that they give you that room. The perfect ball from Sales, lobbed, bypassing that defense. The run from the back, the timing, perfect execution from Reyners.
What a ball from Artur Sales, but the keeper beaten on his near post. Gianni, normally so dependable, there completely lost his man as Reyners sneaked in. Well, there he is, coach of the month of February. That is Miguel Cardoso, with his hands raising his arms to celebrate the goal, because now they've really stranglehold on the game here. 2-0. We're hearing that Orlando Pirates have also found a goal. The goals are starting to come in. They've taken the lead against Polokwane City. Have Orlando Pirates. Sasisa in your picture. Well, oh, he will not be a happy man, you know. This is what happens. Great move there, puts a football there. How many touches? That's a poor first touch, actually.
A poor first touch indeed. He should have really set himself up, really know where to really go for target. He hesitated.
Yes, Nuno Santos. Oh, that was clever thinking from. You saw the keeper wasn't set, so he went for the quick shot there. Nuno Santos, instead of carrying it, I thought he would carry the ball closer, but I think he sees the keeper's. And the keeper slips as well.
Yeah, I love Santos's technique, just really disguising that, almost insisting like he's going to pass, but just folds it and rolls, fools the goalkeeper, really deceives him.
Rele Mofokeng, who, along with Miguel Cardoso, were amongst the winners at the monthly PSL Awards, or the Betway Premiership Awards. He's the player of the month for Rele Mofokeng, while Miguel Cardoso took the coach of the month. So now suddenly the goals are coming. Marumo Gallants have equalized against Chippa United, who had the halftime lead. And Polokwane in still 0-0 Amak Zulu and Makesi. Reyners, 3 goals in 2 matches for him to take him to 9. Nuno Santos, whoa, beautifully done there, and it's still going. And good defending to stop him in his tracks as he has a beautiful move again from Mamelodi Sundowns. It is sugar all over. Sprinkling sugar is Mutiba, the postman. Look at that, even the passes now. Everything being done with a bit of swagger. It's gonna be, oh, red! Oh, how to blight a copybook, what was turning out to be the perfect night. Could just get very tricky for Mamelodi Sundowns here. Jaden Adams has been shown red. Well, that's why. That's a leg-breaking challenge. Oh my goodness, is he okay? It looks like he's okay, but is he though? He's in pain.
Yeah, he's in serious pain.
Oh, that was bad. That was bad. That was really bad. Ikram, or rather Jaden Adams, as I said, how to spoil what was turning out to be a perfect night. It's a straight red for Jaden Adams. And Mamelodi Sundowns 2 goals up, but now 2 goals up, but now a man down. I don't think Sundowns will panic as yet or at all. It looks like they're going to make a change immediately. Allende seems ready to come on. Mistimed that challenge, and it really almost did some serious damage.
I think he loses the ball in that midfield, and when he tries to really recover, he loses it. Makwele just really intercepts.
That's often what happens when you lose the ball. You try then too hard to try and get it, end up fouling a player, and that, as far as fouls go, that was a pretty bad one.
Yeah, but it's good to see Makwele on his feet.
So that's a bit of a plot twist. How will Sundowns organize things now that they are down to 10 men? Can Arrows take advantage? More importantly, Toki?
Yeah, I think the attitude immediately switches for Golden Arrows. They now feel like they can have a go at Mamelodi Sundowns, but for Sundowns now, they have to be organized defensively.
Well, shepherded behind for a goal kick by Kuriso Modao. You get the sense that maybe Sundowns will need a third goal in this game, because if Arrows were to get one here, things get very interesting, as Maflega can't get around Kuriso Modao. Not many can.
But I think a switch for Golden Arrows really is someone to take that onus and responsibility, a supplier, a playmaker in that midfield to really get those passes going for the likes of Dion, for the likes of Ndlovu. Puts Mamelodi Sundowns under pressure.
So we are hearing that Miguel Cardoso is going to he's going to sacrifice an attacker to bring on Allende. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess his hand has been forced on this one. I don't know. I think he was going to bring on Allende at some point, but I don't think now would have been when he wants to bring him on. Not a good ball there. Disappointing ball. By the way, that was the second red card of the season for Mamelodi Sundowns. The other went to Tebo Mokoena, was sent off against Swelele. There's been 20. That will be coming into tonight. There were tonight's round of matches that we had 22 red cards in the PSL this season. Artur Salles is down, but he can continue. So we're going to have that change then. I imagine we would have seen it anyway, but the circumstances have forced Miguel Cardoso's hand. Is it going to be? It looks like Salles it's going to make way. Initially we were told it was Matthews, but it looks like it's Artur Salles that will go off. Makes sense, because I think Matthews was buzzing out. It's been that first half. He's looked so good, and Artur Salles, you know, is why the decision has been made. And so on comes Marcelo Allende, the Chilean. First change then for Mamelodi Sundowns. So I guess his brief is a fairly simple one now. Try and keep possession and control things as he does. He's often the conductor there in the midfield. Actually play a similar role to what Jaden Adams was playing.
Absolutely. I think he slows the tempo down as well, breaks down play. Ball recovery becomes very important just behind the likes of Tebogo Mokoena and Santos.
Coming in for his 19th appearance of the season is Marcelo Allende. Look at that, those numbers, the passes completed. As well, you know, Mamelodi Sundowns, or rather Lamont for Golden Arrows, in that 1-0 win that they got at home against Sundowns, they did it with very little of the possession. They had a total of 160, of 220 against Chippa. They had 227 passes completed, which was the second least number of passes since the 167 against Sundowns. So they had 32% of the ball possession against Sundowns in that game that they won by a goal to nil. So I think to a large extent this game has followed the same kind of pattern, well, except that this time around Arrows have conceded twice already. You know?
Yeah, and I think maybe there's a certain influence of playing at home and away as well. And I think at home Golden Arrows just seem very unstoppable at the first phase of the league. But of course, once you travel to Mamelodi Sundowns as well, they're on home territory, and you've been dishing out the stats as well. 7 out of 8 home wins, and I think that's quite impressive. It's never going to be easy.
Certainly not. As Mudiba at full stretch there, it's in a tangle there. I don't think that there was any malice by Van Rooy there. Both players chasing, going for the ball there. But I think Mokwena's leg got tangled in the legs of Van Rooij. Mamelodi back on his feet. He's a man who's seen a lot of the ball. You saw the numbers there, 2 assists to his name this season. One of them a beauty against Orlando Pirates. He, in fact, Aubrey Modiba has had the most touches of any Mamelodi Sundowns player this season, 1,176 to 1,102 by Allende, who's the next best. Could be something on here, but just that fine, that a little bit of finesse lacking. Cisse gets underneath it. But it's better from Arrows in the second half. Well, it couldn't get any worse than what we saw in that first half. They've now come alive and are showing a little bit more ambition.
And that's all it had to take to show a little bit more ambition. Cisse taking the onus and responsibility in his own hands, and hopefully the players can really take from that kind of energy, from that kind of intent.
Mamelodi Sundowns, the last time they scored first, let's have a look at this. Certainly a much improved performance here in the second half. They're starting to get upfielders, and Damani puts it behind for a corner. As I said, if they pull one back, things could get interesting, but you have to go back to March 2022 for the last time that Sundowns scored first and then went on to lose the game. As we hit the hour mark, Arrows are going to make another change as we look at Ndlovu lining this one up. Sian Ndlovu. Cisse got his head onto it, and the header was a tame one. Easily collected by Ronwen Williams. Nothing to choose in this Betway Premiership title race. As I said, the front runners are matching each other punch for punch. And Pirates leading against Lamontville Golden, rather against Polokwane City. So change, it's happened for Arrows have made their change, and Stole is the player who has been introduced. Sabelo Stole, okay, you were calling for him?
Yes, Stole and Tele as well.
Tele rather was a player you wanted to see out there.
Yeah, but of course Stole, great strength, good balance as well on the ball, explosive power in terms of speed. I think he's one of those players that can really contend and really try and get Golden Arrows back.
They've certainly looked a lot more lively in this second half of Lamontville Golden Arrows. But can they make this one-man advantage count? It's often easier said than done. You think, you know, you're playing with an extra man out there, you have an advantage. Doesn't always work that way, does it?
Nope, it's actually even much more difficult to play against a team that is a man down, and certainly because their attributes or their focus is much more on the team organization defensively, it becomes a little bit difficult to penetrate.
Throw-in will go the way of Mamelodi Sundowns here. Yeah, this is where they're going to have to show all their abilities when it comes to managing the game. Although you don't want to be they wouldn't want to be having to manage the game from so early. As Matthews makes a decent little run here. He's picked out. Still Tashrik Matthews. Marcelo Allende. Grant Kekan. No. Look at this from Sundowns. Oh, very nearly a great ball. Shot! Nuno Santos fires a third one into the back of the net and extends Sundowns, the 10 men of Sundowns lead. And the Arrows players have all gone across to the far side assistant. I think they're claiming no goal. What is the decision here? The referee has his, the referee, it won't count. The referee says offside. Well, I'd like to have a look at that. I imagine there was someone obstructing the view of the keeper. Oh, let's take a look at what happens here then. Oh, okay. Did Reyners touch it? Did Reyners touch it?
Even if he did, he's still onside.
Yes, I don't think he was offside.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. How big a call could that prove to be?
Yeah.
How big a call will that prove to be in the greater scheme of things? Just as we thought Sundowns had now stretched their lead, the 10 men of Sundowns, I remind you. And again, it would have been a side that would have annoyed Mangoba again, because such was the ease with which Sundowns constructed that.
Absolutely. Almost similar to the first goal. Very composed, so much more time on the ball, a diagonal pass, and of course a shot on target. Golden Arrows should be really dealing with that a lot much better.
Yeah. Well, they got away with one there, did Lamontville Golden Arrows. That keeps them, I should say, keeps them in the game somewhat. Still, Nuno Santos! Oh! Well, that would have been spectacular. That would have been a brilliant piece of individual skill from the Portuguese skillful player. Oh yeah, that very nicely done. Mate finds the side netting on this occasion. Mamelodi Sundowns' last two victories at home to Lamontville Golden Arrows. In their last two victories against Lamontville Golden Arrows at home, they've scored 4 or more goals. Last season they beat them 4-0. There, by the way, Sportisa time, there's our winner. I can tell you, earlier on, she was sitting by herself until the news filtered through that Nora Sidile is the winner of 20,000 Rand, courtesy of Betway. Now suddenly she's surrounded by friends she never knew she had.
You know what they say?
Yeah.
More money?
Yes, more problems. And no one will ever repeat the words Nora Wabora. No one says that about Mureki. As the ball is floated in towards Ronald Williams. Gosh, how many times has Ronald Williams actually caught the ball tonight? Oops. Is it just a bit of gamesmanship? Onside here. Dispossessed with some ease by Aubrey Mudiba. Very well played by Aubrey Mudiba to draw the foul there. It's going to be a yellow as well for Ndlovu.
Yeah, that is experience at its best. Bobby Modiba, he wins the ball back, contributes to regaining that ball possession. He attacks the space and he knows that he's outnumbered 3 players onto him. And that's how it is that you draw a foul. The team gets to recover and reorganize.
Cleverly done there. So as I was saying, the corresponding fixture, Sundowns won 4-0, and the season before that, the home game, they won 5-0. Now that was a goal that was disallowed, and I think the reason why the players went over to the assistant there was because I think he had his flag up and the referee hadn't seen it. Or was it? I didn't see the. I didn't see the flag, so I'm not sure at what point the call was made for offside. So there's gonna be Ikram Reines is gonna depart the fray. He's got his goal. He's now joint top goal scorer, and he makes way for a man who's been in rampant form, Brian Leon. The game against Kukuna was the first that he featured in the Betway Premiership that he didn't score. So here he comes in. The Colombian checks in and will be looking to get onto the score sheet once again. And a double change as Katlego Tiki Nsabeling also comes in. Hasn't had a lot of game time. And Lebu Mutiba was the other player introduced. So Brian making his it's the coach that has picked up a caution we hear. Brian is checks in for his 6th game. He's got 4 goals in his first 5 matches for Mamelodi Sundowns. Camaros again, trying to make something happen, and it's a man, Ndlovu, that often has been their go-to man. Just not coming together yet.
Yeah.
Just not come together tonight.
Yeah, it's just really not coming together for Golden Arrows Ndlovu this time around. We're seeing glimpses of him, what he can do in those tight spaces, just gliding across that midfield, really missing out on a Dion to really be engaged into the game. But it's just not clicking for Golden Arrows this evening at all.
Just under 20 minutes to go then for Arrows to try and find 2 goals to rescue a point. They were looking to make it back-to-back wins for the first time since the 2023-24 season. That's the last time they made back-to-back wins away from home. Actually, not even away from home, just in any match. Yeah, haven't done that. Haven't had back-to-back wins since 23-24, which is crazy statistic, really, when you think about it. They have managed to avoid defeat against Sundowns, though, in their last 2 meetings against Sundowns. But as I mentioned, their last away win against Sundowns was 17 years ago. 10th of, or rather, the 4th of October 2008. What were you doing in 2008?
It's probably doing my 2nd year at varsity.
Well, they're still trying. They're still trying, Arrows, and just again that been let down by the lack of finesse and cutting edge.
Yeah, they're lacking that coordination most of their moves or their plays are uncoordinated, and you really want to see them linking up. Haven't really seen Msomi as well getting involved. They need to push a little bit high up.
I'm sure it's starting to feel like just one of those days when nothing goes your way. At least it must be starting to feel that way for the Sundowns. At least the Arrows players. Okay, all right, okay. Ronald Williams, we see you. Is he clutching his hamstring there? He's had his problems with the injury. Set out a spell towards the end of last year. There was a time when they had Dennis Onyango keeping goal. He hasn't missed many matches, I can tell you that, in his career, Ronald Williams. But just recently, maybe it's age also starting to keep up on him. 34 years old now, Ronald Williams. Can you believe it? Yes, but in the goalkeeping standards, he's still very young.
Yeah.
2012-2013 season was when he made his debut. Quarter of an hour remaining at Loftus Versfeld. Sundowns down to 10 men, leading by 2-0. And still Arrows. They had a great chance to equalize just before they conceded the second. And since then, Sundowns have regained control of the game, really. In fact, it's not really been a spell where Arrows were on top. It's a bad pass from Mayende, and he's chasing down to make amends, and there could be in here. Arrows! Oh, very nearly turned into his own net by Kuriso Modao there. Well, what? Is there a penalty?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, my. Another twist in the tail here. Is it? What is? Has he point? He has. That's why I said that Dion is standing by the penalty spot. Let's have a look at this challenge from Modao. Oh, he handled it. He handled the ball, and of course that could have stopped that. That stopped the ball getting from an Arrows player, potentially, because you can see Dion. Said that Dion was waiting. So it's a fair call, and as you can see, Dion saw it. No point debating this one. It's not keepers. The ref is not going to change his mind, but this could make things very interesting now. We've got just under 15 minutes left. If Arrows can pull one back here, things will get very interesting, so we'll be in for quite some finish. Sundowns have kept 3 clean sheets in their last 5 Premiership matches. They've won their last 4 games against Arrows. But Dion here now looking to go back up at the top of the charts. Looking to take his tally to double digits. This to make it 10 goals for the season for Dion, which will make him the first player since Knox Mutizwa to get into double figures for Lamontville Golden Arrows. Here he is, Dion, to make it 2-1, and he does it beautifully. Sends Ronald Williams the wrong way, and it's 2-1 now. Arrows have made things interesting here. They've brought themselves right back into the game. I did say if they can get one back, they've got the one-man advantage again. Dion then becomes the first Lamontville Golden Arrows player into double digits since Knox Mutizwa. And that's a well-taken penalty.
Yeah, indeed, well-taken penalty. Very important one indeed for Dion as well, Golden Arrows. A little bit of complacency creeping in now from Mamelodi Sundowns, giving away ball possession cheaply in that midfield. and this time around punished. We spoke about Golden Arrows just applying a little bit more pressure on that defense, and they're susceptible to mistakes.
They have decided to play in the second half, Arrows, and now have been rewarded. Here comes they come on another attack here. Good defending. That's a foul, unnecessary from Aubrey Mutiba. I fancy. The man was going the other way. Now he's given a free kick in a dangerous area, and the Arrows are going to make a double change. That's a foul there on the sub. Man who came in as a sub, Sabelo Stone, and it's now a free kick. This is tantalizing. He's poised now at Loftus Versfeld. And there's a nervous hush around the ground now suddenly, as you've seen their side drop points from winning positions. 6 points that Sundowns have dropped from winning positions this season, which is quite a lot for a team of Sundowns quality. Double change standing by for Arrows, and one change for Arrows will be made. I can see Shazy there signaling that it's a second time. Now temper's flaring a little bit here now. I think that both sets of players realize that this is a very delicately poised situation in the game here, and it's Mutiba that goes crunching in. That's a bad challenge actually by Aubrey Mutiba. Should have been a caution surely.
Yeah. I think it's just a lack of discipline here from Aubrey. He went in for a challenge, he regained the ball, he lost it, tried to recover.
And I think that's the point that Shazy was making, is that I don't think he's saying like 2 fouls in quick succession. He wasn't booked for either one of them. Referee Siabulela Kunta. Not the first one he and his assistants have got wrong. Well, certainly that one was his call. And it comes. Oh, what a dangerous looking ball. Played into that corridor of uncertainty between the defenders and the keeper. But Sundowns live to fight another day. Slip there. See the possession stats. It's much improved in the second half for the Montville Golden Arrows. 10 minutes remaining though. They very much in it now. They've dragged themselves into this game with a much better second half display, and attempted the attempt on a goal there. Easily dealt with. Nice touch there, taken away from his man. Another twist in the tail. We're hearing that Polokwane City have equalized against Orlando Pirates. Kuriso Motao is stopped. That could be a yellow. It will be a yellow. I think that will annoy the Arrows players to say, oh, so you do have the cards. Cisse picks up the caution there. Isaac Cisse goes into the book. Second Arrows player booked. So then let's watch the double change. Well, who's going to make the change first? It looks like it'll be Arrows that going to make the first change. They're going to bring on a striker in the form of the burly Lungalonguse, who is a handful for defenders. Said Dion will come back to the top of the goal scorers charts, and he is replaced by Pilani Kumalo, and then on comes Mkuse for Cisse. So sacrificing a defensive player for an attacker because you're chasing a point down. there's a great excitement in the stand below us here, because they've just heard the news that Polokwane City have equalized against Orlando Pirates. Now, Grant Kekana under pressure there, but he's fouled. Good work from Grant Kekana.
Good work. He was a little bit outnumbered, and I think he would have been outpaced as well. But he does certainly well to clear his lines under pressure.
In the meantime, by the way, Keegan Johannes came on for Nuno Santos. So as they look to shore up things. Sundowns player just been booked there. It's Brian Leon, who hasn't been on the field for that long. He's just been cautioned. No. There's Somi, who is bringing up, came off the bench to bring up his 50th top flight appearance. Especially Somi. Brian. Ndlovu. Look at Ndlovu go. Only Relebohile Mofokeng has created more chances coming into this game. Only Rele Mofokeng had created more chances than Sianda Ndlovu. 42 chances Sianda Ndlovu has created this season. Hasn't been at his best here tonight. And I think it's because he's been a marked man. You've watched, they're aware of it, the danger. He poses! And that one very nearly sneaking in there for the late run from Mfana Vela Mafulega. Gosh, the drama continues. It's 2-1 now. It's 2-1 to Orlando Pirates. Oh, this title race. For the first time in a long time, Amanda, it looks like there's a few Orlando Pirates fans on the far side that are waving their flags as if they've just seen their team score a goal. I think for the first time in many, many seasons, we are going to see this one go down to the wire as a snapshot from Brian Leon goes wide.
It is so exciting. Just really keeping tabs on both teams at this point in time, Orlando Pirates and of course Mamelodi Sundowns, and just how close they are just in terms of the goal margins, the points as well. So rightfully so, one of the best seasons so far.
Now, they could be in here. Lamont for golden arrows. Kuliso Mudawa has to stand his ground. Oh, that's disappointing ball. Now, still they come. Lamont for golden arrows. Sundowns under a bit of pressure here. Time running out for arrows though. Just over 2.5 minutes remaining. Last season, the Montville Golden Arrows lost 6 games away from home. And the last time they won, they lost 7 away from home, was in the 23-24 season. this season, just a 1 win away from home, that was against Magesi, and that was recently in February. But he's been struggling. He's looked like he's been clutching that hamstring. Now, is he going to put the ball into touch or no? Actually, he's played it into play as Brian Gianni gets the better of him. Sundowns as it is then are still on track to make it 6 wins in 6. Of course, we've got an international break coming up in 2 weeks' time. And Ugo Bruch is here making notes along with his assistant, Herman Kalele. We're going to have a minimum of 4 minutes, we're told. Now the referee's going to, well, it's going to be much longer than 4 minutes now, because we'll have a break in play while Ronwen Williams gets treatment. Anxious there, the two coaches on the touchline desperate to bring this one home. No doubt they'll be aware as well what's happening elsewhere, although need to be firmly focused on the job at hand here. So we've got goals in all the games but one. All of the 5, in 4 of the 5 games underway. Amazulu and Makesi still locked at 0-0. Chippa are now trailing. Marumo Gallants have turned it around. They're 3-1 up. Very, that's a 6-pointer. That's a relegation 6-pointer there.
Yeah.
So a massive, if they can. We are now hearing of that stoppage. Those are the goals in case you've just joined us at Tebo Mukwe in the first half. And then in the second half, Ikram Reyners pops up at the back post, sneaking in behind Gianni. A rare mistake from Gianni. And that was the penalty. You saw the ball come off the hand of Kuriso Mudau. I don't think it was intentional, but the fact is that the ball touching his hand took it away from an opponent, and a chance for Sede Dion. Dion converted the penalty to take his tally to 10 goals for the season and become the first player, as I said, for the Montville Golden Arrows to get into double figures since that feat was achieved by Knox Mutizwa. Five minutes now will be added. That's a long time. It'll feel extra long for the Sundowns supporters, and it'll feel too short for the Arrows players unless they can find a goal. Sundowns, who haven't lost at home since that dramatic loss on the final day of 2 seasons ago, May 2024, when they suffered their only loss of that season in a home game against Cape Town City on the very last day of the season, and stopping what would have been a bit of history in the PSL. Sundowns very nearly became the first invincibles of the PSL. Kuriso Mudau carrying it upfield. He was just looking to keep it in the corner. Gianni had to keep it alive because he was going out for a corner. Now, let's see what shares it. War offside flag is up. Anxious moments, these are. Nail-biting moments, quite clearly offside there. Ngose, Lungelo Ngose went straight offside there. A wry smile there from Ngoba Mngeti. Wonder, a penny for his thoughts. What's he thinking? What's he smiling about? His team are trailing. Does he know something we don't, Jogi?
Clearly not.
It's all over, by the way. Polokwane, Orlando Pirates have won their game. Same scoreline as we have here, 2-1. That result means that Pirates will go back on top. 31 goals scored by Pirates and 8 conceded. So and then for Sundowns, 32 scored, 10 conceded. Does it get any closer?
Yeah.
Here is Mudiba, but a very tired-looking ball in from Aubrey Mudiba. He's had a good game, though. He really has.
Yeah, he has had a good game, has been challenged a little bit, but also making inroads in the opposition's half.
Still not over here. Still not over at Loftus. So this means that Sundowns will now take their record at home against Arrows to 16 matches unbeaten, and will make it 5 wins. It'll be their 5th win in a row against Arrows. Williams seems to be running freely for someone. Oh, not really. He's still limping. I wonder whether he'll be able to patch him up and get him ready for the next one. But the fact that he's carrying on means it can't be that serious, Toki. As we are now taking his time here, we are seconds away then from the final whistle. The next up for Mamelodi Sundowns on the 13th of March, back in CAF Champions League action, Stade Malien. So there is a bit of time to patch whoever's injured up, and there we go.